Hello, welcome to today's product review. I've started collecting my bolt-action Polish army, early warriors, and I have a plan in mind of collecting first the 10th Motorized Cavalry Brigade, then progressing forward. That's for the early war. Then, since the core of that unit that escaped Poland made its way to England and formed the cadre of the 1st Polish Armor Division in Britain, I'm going to collect both. So this is my jump into it. Since buddies at gaming are playing, Germans and Americans and British and everything, I figured I'd go with the Poles. I wanted to get these tanks, some of the Polish tanks, and start my collection that way. So that's backstory to how I'm getting into this. But what I wanted to do is kind of review the products as I got them. So I'm kind of new to Warlord Games, and I'll be honest in my review. I mean, I'm used to being a Warhammer 40k player. I'm used to Forge World. So my roots are in scale modeling, whether it's planes, armor vehicles, or trains. Detail and fine scale mattered. So that's the mindset I had going into this: a 28mm scale battle system with World War II miniatures. I was pretty excited about that. So the first thing I wanted to get was some anti-armor equipment and some to stand up against the machine guns and stuff. So I bought a couple tanks. The first one I bought was the Polish Vickers E, Mark E. Okay, and that's what you see in front of you. In general, it's a pretty fine kit. It's a nice one. It comes with metal detail parts, including 2 headlights. Let's see if that'll focus at all. Probably not. Okay, and then the coaxial machine gun here, and the 47mm gun right there. So then, of course, the top hatch. Now, the body itself is basically just 3 parts of resin: the main body and the 2 track segments. And the entire side just it fits on real well. There's 2 marker pole posts and holes in the hull. The posts are on the track, the holes are on the side. Lines up perfectly, and these little pads here line up with the bottom. It was a perfect fit on both sides. I was very pleased with that. What was a little disconcerting as I started to put it together is that even though everything lines up perfectly, there is still a little bit of it's askew a little bit. So even though everything is flush with the side of the tank, it looks like the side of the tank was actually tilted a bit. Now, the other things that were kind of nice, the choice of where to put the gates. There's 2 back gates underneath these rear anchor points, and then those are the gates for the entire hull. Very, very good location. It's easy to mask behind those treads. No problem whatsoever. I really like that. Forgot the exhaust pipe here is the other metal kit, and this was positioned. There's a small hole to accept the muffler intake. Then there's 3 little ledges that are curved to match the curve of that muffler. In fact, it's designed spaced perfectly for those 3 ridges, those 3 straps that go around that muffler, and they fit perfectly. It was easy to glue in. I was able to bend this end up to match the pictures I have, so very pleased with that. What I wasn't so pleased about, though, was the quality of the detail. As you get in up close, the detail is kind of spotty at places. Sometimes it's not as fine. Look at the grill there. That's supposed to be a wire grill, and some holes are deeper than others. Wasn't too keen on that. Here on the back, you've got an exhaust. Not really exhaust, but that's where the air cooled engine outtake was. That was one of the design features on this particular Polish Vickers tank, because this tank was a Polish improvement on the original British Mark E. But they were still not satisfied with it, so they designed their own. I want to get that one too soon, hope. The box detail in here actually is pretty good. That is actually part of this tread, so it's not a separate piece. It was molded on pretty well. I didn't mind that at all. But overall, it's generally pretty good. Now, one thing that bothered me though is after I started looking at paint jobs and kind of looking at how I'm going to make this work. Yeah, I was studying the details and all, and I realized they mounted the turret wrong. Now, the turret is supposed to be offset to the left of the tank. It's actually offset to the right. Now, that's a big deal if you're a scale modeler. Okay, it should be here. So what I'm going to end up doing is filling that in, cutting this off completely, and then drilling just basically a pinhole in there, probably, what, 1/16, or sorry, 3/32 inch rod hole for in the turret, and then a point to mount it in here so I can actually mount it properly to the left. That will make a big difference. So now, other than that, the details were okay. Most of the pictures I've seen seem to indicate this hatch was actually centered more on the tank turret, and the tank turret probably was a little bit narrower. So now the rivet detail, it's for the size that it is, 56 millimeter, or sorry, 1/56 scale. It's okay. It's a little big. It stands out, but it'll pick up the light better when you do the highlighting. So even though this is scale, the rivets are a little bit out. What I was pleased at is some of the details on here, such as there's actually a grab iron right there. Let's see if we can close in on that. Raised just a little bit. It's not clear through, so it's not empty underneath it, but it's enough there to show it. There's a place to grab a handle on there. I was pleased with that. So, but this isn't a Forge World kit, so it's not going to be quite as solid, as far as detail goes. But it's okay. For 34 bucks, or it's 30, I think it was $30, something like this, 30, 34, somewhere in that range. A little bit more expensive than I would have liked for a model of this quality, but I only need one. I mean, that's the way bolt action is. You don't have a whole slew of tanks. It's usually 1 or 2 tanks in the list. So that's the Warlord Vickers Mark E for the Polish Army early war. All right, hope you found this helpful. If you're getting into bolt action, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.